if we're going to be on this one.
Yep, I'm good.
Good morning. We're live on YouTube. And if you are new on, if you, this is the first time we have done the new vertical and landscape view on YouTube. So you've got a choice. You can watch it in either of them. So there's actually two streams going to YouTube simultaneously. So if you see the one with the phone in the title, that's the one that has a vertical view. And typically then there's also another landscape view. So check them out. And I'm going to bring in my Facebook groups here real quick. And they will have the landscape view as well. Landscape recommended. Yep. We'll bring those in, but we are changing it up. We're going to check it out. So as I see you, I can tell if you've got a little phone next to your name, I can tell which one you're watching. We want to see how it works out. And this is something that's been offered. So let us know in the comments if it works okay for you. Welcome in, everybody. This is the Wednesday chilly edition of the Falcons podcast, as it feels like winter for one more day before spring kicks back in and we hit mid-70s again during the middle of the weekend. Kind of looking forward to that. I'm old and cold these days. Sounds a lot like how the Falcons have been playing here recently in the midst of a 4-game losing streak with the Carolina Panthers coming to town. And as we all know, the last time we saw the Carolina Panthers, the Falcons were embarrassed. This time, though, the Falcons are more desperate as opposed to coming off a big win on Sunday Night Football. I think it was against the Vikings. I think that was a Sunday night game. It was definitely a nationally televised game. Everybody telling them how good they were, and then they went to Carolina and laid an egg. This one is at home. They're a little more desperate this go-around, and the Carolina Panthers really aren't any better. Who knows? We'll get into all of that. Before we get into that, though, Nick, how are you doing this morning, my friend?
I am doing pretty well. I guess it's warmer here in Denver than it is in Florida. At least it has been for our highs. We don't have any iguanas dropping from trees here, I guess. So good to see a Keith coming in. But no, doing pretty well. Got up a little bit late because got the kid up and fed and everything like that. And he was being a little bit, we're entering the everything is no phase. Yes is no and no is no and food is no, but we're here. We're excited to talk some Falcons. Really bummed to see the season have gone the direction that it has gone. For so many years, Scott, the Broncos and the Falcons were, lockstep. The Spider-Man pointing meme with each other in the AFC and the NFC, but kind of diverging ships at this point, fork in the road. But still plenty to play for, plenty to talk about, and exciting stuff. And dogs here, cats here, so we're living life.
Yeah, Keith said it's cold here in Florida. That's where the iguanas are falling. 35 here last night. It was 33 this morning. And Samuel, I clicked on this accidentally, so we'll just talk about it here real quick. Not that I wouldn't have clicked on it, but I like to say hellos first. Is can they slow their run game down? The styles make fights. That's it will be a game as we get into the Panthers game in a little bit. A little bit of a who can run, who can stop the run. That was obvious last time. Mm-hmm. And right now the game plan against the Falcons is pretty easy. Stack the box on first and second down, get him to a third and long, blitz on third, get him off the field. That's it. And, if the Falcons still move the ball, okay, again, I was really snarky about this on Monday, Nick, just talking about the Falcons offense is amazing. Think of all they do on playing two-down football. It's pretty incredible that they're able to get 24 points and 300-something yards of offense when they're playing two-down football. That's amazing. But that Falcons fan for life, no way we get swept by the Panthers. Are you new here? Be careful what you say with that one. I do want to say hello to some folks that came in here nice and early. Rusty says Rusty's feeling good. And I think, Rusty, you were at the Panthers game, weren't you? Didn't you go to the last one? Or did you come down here? I know you were talking about going and didn't go, or I'm glad you didn't, but I think you are in that neck of the woods. He says, I don't fully trust him, but I don't think Raheem survives a loss against Carolina this week. The D is also playing good. And he goes on to talk about, you might still have a job for the rest of the season, see it out, but this could be your fired game. Felt like that about the Washington Commanders too. If they can't beat a Jaden Daniels, Dan Quinn-esque, Marcus Mariota-led Washington Commanders, then you're done. You just might not know it yet. And that's what I followed back up with Rusty saying. That's how I felt about Arthur Smith, after their third straight loss to brand new quarterbacks in Arizona going into the bye week. I'm like, he's done. We're out. We're done. And you fall to 3-7 and getting swept by the Carolina Panthers and have a chance to get passed by the Saints. You're only a game ahead of the Saints right now, y'all. don't look back, but you're closer to the Saints than you are the Buccaneers. So could be ugly. Rusty, hope you're doing well. Cash Bag Beats was one of the first guys in. It says, good morning. He's got the coffee emoji. I'll drink to that. So I do believe we can break the losing streak, kick the ball out of bounds on kickoffs and punts to prevent good starting position for the Panthers, and pair this with quick Penix throws. It's sad. I had to look it up because I wasn't sure what the rule was. Now, if you kick it out of bounds, it's still the 40, I believe. I believe you still get the ball on the 40. A touchback into the end zone is the 35. It's sad that, you might be better off. I decline it, though. Decline the penalty. Make them kick it again. The coverage units are so bad, Nick. They're so bad. And I've said, I don't understand it. I don't understand why a guy that was inherited by Raheem, who did such a bad job, if you're willing to make a change with Jimmy Lake, if you're willing to make a change with your defensive line coach, if you're willing, why does a guy that you didn't even hire, who has had one of the bottom 5 units, why is he still here? There's got to be something else going on. Is there a nepotism thing going on that we just don't know about?
Cronyism.
It's just weird.
Yeah, it's hard to say. I know that a lot of times fans, and from where we're sitting, we want people fired, but a lot of times that puts more work onus on the people around them. So sometimes it makes you feel better in the moment, but it doesn't always improve things long term. But there also has to be some level of, you're not doing your job, everybody can see it, accountability.
The word, there it is, Nick.
Yeah.
There has to be. I think I got blamed. I'm not going to use the phrase, but you have to make an example out of somebody every once in a while. Well, you did. Ray McLeod and who's the Gator? I forgot his name, the wide receivers coach.
Yeah, he's
Ike Hilliard.
Yeah.
Those guys were gone. Well, that didn't work. So has to be some accountability, right, Nick?
You'd hope so. Plenty of finger pointing. I mean, it's not just one thing, right? That's also the hard part as well. It's the leaky boat syndrome. You put your finger in, patch one hole, and 6 more spring. But special teams feels very coaching oriented, execution oriented, and if you're not doing the job, they better damn well find somebody who can. So I think you're probably, he's still here right now, but another bad game, kick return, penalties on that unit, the hidden yards. Maybe you see some heads roll. I mean, when you start seeing head coaches firing people left and right, you're getting closer and closer to the plank there yourself. But you never know. I mean, there does have, like you said, there has to be some level of accountability. So I don't know. I do enjoy the comment though that you had there. The talk about the snark, kicking the ball out of bounds, and Penix behind the line of scrimmage passes every time. I mean, nothing's changing. Nothing. I know it was a joke post, but that's where we're at.
Kind of. I mean, the thing is, the average starting position, as long as you're not getting a penalty, the other teams are starting the ball at least at the 40-yard line. Crazy. I mean, it's crazy. At least, you've got to have. You're trying to hold on to a 3-point lead. You kick off, and they start the ball in your territory. It's unacceptable, and it's persistent. Yeah. I mean, the coverage units have persistently been bad. Keith Robbins, thank you for being a member, my friend. Be like Keith. You can become a member in the description. There's a link, and then anywhere you're watching, you'll see a button that says "Join" on YouTube. Become a member. It helps us out a lot. Keeps the forehead nice and shiny. Helps keep the lights on. And Keith says, "Nice to get off from a cold night's work and watch my favorite podcast." Well, thank you for the support, my friend. You help us stay here. Michael Ronquillo is checking in on both sides of the streams, on the vertical and on the horizontal, to see which one he likes. So appreciate that. And Greg, good to see you too. Morning, Scott. Have a great show. You always do. Well, that's very, very nice of you. You can tell when I've been away for a couple shows and the rhythm isn't quite on. It's more of an internal thing. I've been doing this thing long enough to go, that wasn't my best effort. It just didn't flow right. Halsey, talking about trading up for non-quarterbacks and the Jaguars doing that, and Travis Hunter being lost for the season. And Nick, how surprising is it that a guy, how much two-way has he been playing this year? Travis Hunter down in Jacksonville? Has he been playing a lot, or is it?
He's been almost, I think it's been like 70%, 70%. Mostly utilized in offense, but there had been packages where he's out there for defense.
Okay, that's a lot. And
playing double seasons essentially.
It's
It's crazy.
And we know how many snaps he took at Colorado, for God's sakes. I mean, he'd have games where he'd take over 100 snaps pretty regularly. It's just tough. It's tough to do. And, I'm not going to be here to one to say I told you so, because I didn't. I didn't say, oh, don't do this. But we say all the time how dangerous this game is. And it's tough to be a two-way player.
What I said was I'll take Abdul Carter over Travis Hunter. But that's just me. And that could be wrong in hindsight, but I thought he was an easier projection, right? Like you can be the outlier of all outliers, but I don't tend to want to make the bet on the outlier, and playing both ways at that level being worth the second overall pick. That would be an outlier, and he is a freak. I mean, don't get me wrong, but what Abdul Carter did, I think, translated better to the NFL and is a more premium skill.
We'll hit on this real quick, and then we'll move on, because we do like to talk draft in here. Is Travis Hunter worth a number 2 pick as a wide receiver?
I don't know.
So that's a no, probably not.
Yeah.
Is Travis Hunter worth the number 2 pick as a corner?
I don't think there's ever been a corner drafted 2. If there has, there's been 1.
Yeah.
Then it's not really
probably isn't worth the number 2 pick overall. It's everything's a risk. Don't get me wrong. Abdul Carter's not exactly tearing it up right now either. I think he's got like half a sack to his name, and as John says, I think here in a little bit, as we're coming down, he says, good morning first. And thank you for being a member, John. He's got that bird next to his name. That means he's a member. He says, I'm pretty sure he had it down here, but he asks, right here. John comes back and asks, is Jalen Walker the defensive rookie of the year? Who else is in that discussion? I know some offensive players that are, Tyler Warren's having a really good season. There's Abuka is having a really good season. There's another wide receiver that I'm not remembering right that's doing well. There's a couple of running backs that are doing well, but I don't know on this side. I sorted by sacks recently, and I think Jalen Walker's sitting at the top. That's a pretty good start right there on who's going to be defensive rookie of the year.
I think Vegas right now has Browns linebacker Carson Schlesinger as the favorite. He's been having a really unbelievable season. Granted, he's got a heck of an defensive line in front of him. But I think I saw Carson Schlesinger's number 1 right now. Jihad Campbell's been playing incredible ball. It's been a good linebacker, off-ball, stack linebacker, whatever you want to call it. Not Jalen Walker, whatever category you want to categorize him. But after that, I think it's very much yet to be decided. And if Walker can keep it up, or even, finish with 6 sacks, there's Abdul Carter, you said, has 1. He leads rookies by pressures by a lot, but that's, I don't know how much voters are caring about that, but
Walker, not when he's got half a sack. That's not going to matter.
Yep. No, not if you're, it did matter for Verse last season, who finished with 2 sacks, 4 sacks, but we'll see. But
nobody
right now,
else was much better either, though, is the thing. And Carson has 30 tackles and an interception and 1.5 sacks. He was a second-round pick, 33 overall, so he was a high pick.
Yeah, it's
Jalen Walker leads
33 pressures for Carter and 1 sack.
No, solo tackles. Sorry.
Oh, solo tackles. Yeah,
I may have said that wrong. Apologies.
Yeah.
He's Jalen Walker's got 4 sacks, 16 solo tackles, and we know he's also got at least 1 forced fumble and at least 1 fumble recovery, because they have paired up on that. I don't have that on this list.
Yeah.
But he's got 4 sacks. Then next is Nick Scourton with Carolina, who we will see this weekend, has 3. And the thing is Jalen's done it in 7 games. Everybody else has done it in 9 or 10. Jalen's done it already in 7 games. So, yeah, Walker's got a very legit chance. If he's
probably one of the top 3, top 4.
Yeah, he's got a legit chance, and he's on pace if he can stay healthy.
Yeah,
that's one of the things that has humbled him.
And I do want to answer Hucklebuck here. Not let me down on Travis Hunter. I'm not down on Travis Hunter, but we're talking about the 2nd overall pick, and also it's not just the 2nd. Honestly, Scott, taking the 2nd overall pick, if you were there and you just took him, I get it. It's the trading up for the 2nd overall pick as well to take a non-pass rusher, non-quarterback. It just makes me a little nervous. I know he's a rare player, but I don't know. I'm risk averse. So I think he's incredible, no doubt. But I don't think I'd have pulled the trigger at 2, and I don't think I definitely wouldn't have traded up for him.
And guys, let's have some perspective here, okay? I'd take him 3 instead of 2. Oh man, what a hater! Yeah, I'd take him 3rd overall, 4th overall, top 5. That means we like him, just like Abdul Carter better. Let's just a little perspective on this, please. When we start,
I'm not offended.
When you start punching away angry on your keyboard like this, a little perspective. Yeah. We're saying we take him in the top 5. We love the dude.
Yeah.
Might like this guy better. That's all. That's okay. And, in high school, that doesn't matter. He was amazing in college. He won all those awards for a reason. But does it translate to the NFL? I don't know. I was asking that question. Yep. Someone else coming in, Rusty. Thanks again for the support, brother. The super chat coming in here, breaking the ice. Says Caleb has Ben Johnson, Jaden has Dan Quinn, but Cliff Kingsbury calling plays. Bo has Sean Payton, Drake has Vabel, but Josh McDaniels calling plays, and Penix has Raheem and an inexperienced offensive coordinator. The formula is clear. Yeah, the formula is broken, so to speak. Again, and you can have a young offensive coordinator. That's okay, but there's no experience in there. Who do you turn to? We went through this last week talking about some Falcons history and Mike Smith coming in as a defensive guy. He had 2 former head coaches as his offensive coordinator and his quarterbacks coach. Dan Quinn hit it right a couple of times. Then that's the problem with the defensive coaches. You kind of have to keep getting it right because you're going to have to change your defensive coordinator every so often. Every 2 years or so. But yeah, the coaching in there is considerably different. When you say the guys that you have there, Caleb Williams has Ben Johnson. And even if you want to go JJ McCarthy, who's just in his first year and is coming off of an injury, but I'll take who's up there? I've got Stefanski in my head, and I know that's not right. Who's the head coach up in Minnesota?
Kevin O'Connell.
Big fan of his. I think he does a great job with quarterbacks and the passing game. I think it helps. They've invested heavily into their offense, but so have the Falcons. And then they turn the keys over to a rookie offensive coordinator which again, I was okay with that. I was okay with the hire, but I would have liked to have said, okay, where's an old head in here? Where's my retired passing guru that I can throw a couple $1,000,000 to for my billions of dollars worth of business here, and my millions and hundreds of millions of dollars of investment into the offense to just be the calm, steady voice of reason in the room, the experienced voice in the room. There wasn't one. Yeah, TJ Yates, there isn't one on that side of the ball, Nick. And
I'm glad you brought up Kevin O'Connell because, obviously,
I love Kevin O'Connell. I think he's great.
But he's one that's kind of against what Rusty is saying here because we've seen proof of concept with Kevin O'Connell, and McCarthy looks horrible. Mm-hmm. Horrible. Sometimes, obviously, situation counts, Scott, but hindsight scouting, I was too low on Jaden Daniels, and I was way too high on McCarthy. It's such a small sample. The book's not written yet.
What's one of the other differences between the guys here other than Drake? But if we talk about McCarthy, what's one of the differences between – well, Caleb's young too, so I just gave it away.
I was going to say, yeah.
But Bo Nix, Jaden Daniels, and Michael Penix are 3 years older than JJ McCarthy, and JJ's coming off a wrecked knee.
Yep.
So again, this is a I won't say it a throwaway year for McCarthy, but it kind of is. This is.
I'm with you. It is, but
he still looks bad.
You can't look as bad as he does, right? Like that's like you can look like you're a little bit overwhelmed, but you need to have some stuff to hope on. And right now, McCarthy's like Josh Rosen. One and only season with Arizona level of incompetence. And he's got Kevin O'Connell and Justin Jefferson. And I would be tight, if I was a Vikings fan, especially since you had Darnold and Daniel Jones in the building last year as well. So, Vikings fans, that's another tortured fan base. Scott, they've had good teams more consistently than the Falcons, but man, they just every time the Vikings, man, I feel bad for them. I got a lot of Vikings friends as well. So my uncle's a big Viking fan. So Uh-oh.
Yeah, I always say to the Vikings fans that complain about 98, I was there for 91, so we're even when it comes to heartbreak.
Yeah.
91 Twins Braves equals 98 Vikings Falcons on that one.
Yep.
So
I want to give Rusty one more shout out, Scott, because I think he was along with me. We can puff out our chest a little bit, even though you never really know. But I think Rusty was like, we have to trade up for Drake May. You're never able to do that because I think the Giants offered 3 first-round picks to the Patriots.
Well, and the teams that were in the top 3 needed quarterbacks.
Yeah. Yep.
So you can't get them.
And the Giants tried, man. They had the 6th overall pick and they offered an unbelievable amount. And they said, we like Drake May. But Rusty I felt like a lot of people were much higher on Caleb Williams, which I'm still not out on Caleb, but I was like, Drake May is right there. I think he's like 1A, 1B. And right now, Drake looks like, right now he's top 3 in the MVP conversation.
Yeah, I like them both. I like both of them. I don't know if I probably would have taken Caleb. I don't remember if I even made a decision on those two because, as I say, I'm not going to argue levels of elite.
Yeah.
If you were to say Drake May, I'd say, okay. If you were to say Caleb Williams, I'd say, I get it.
Yeah.
For sure. And then Jaden Daniels had the rookie season, but the concern on him was, can he hold up?
Yeah.
Because he's
real
slight.
Thing. Yeah.
He is slight on that. Coming back to Curtis. Thank you for being a member. Be like Curtis, become a member. And the super chat, double dipping in here. Curtis says, good morning, Scott, Nick, and Falcons Nation. That's all, y'all. Let's say we fire Zach Robinson. Who's calling the offense? And that's part of the problem.
Yep.
There's nobody in there. Is TJ Yates doing it? Her Brian Dayball's available. Who's calling the offense? We have no comfortable backup coach to rely on. The staff was badly built and poorly managed. Curtis, you said a mouthful there. Again, trying to find the next big thing is human nature in this business. Established guys have jobs already. You can't get them away unless you get them a promotion. So I can't go get another offensive coordinator from another team. I can't do it. So I don't mind necessarily taking a chance on this guy, but why not Vic Fangio this? Fangio didn't immediately come in when he left the Broncos. Where'd he end up? Like the Dolphins, the Eagles? I think he was at the Eagles first, and he wasn't the defensive coordinator. He was a consultant.
Oh, yeah. You're right. Yep.
And then he took the DC position with Miami, and then he ended up being a DC again with the Eagles. Where's that guy? Where's that guy on this staff that can come in, like I said, the old head that can do that. There are those guys on the defensive side of the ball, and Raheem's one of them, and that's the thing that makes you nervous. Raheem is one of them. Whether you think he's worth a darn or not as a defensive coordinator, he is an old head as a defensive coordinator. He's got the experience to do it. So why he handed the reins and didn't seem to do much is a failure as a head coach last year with Jimmy Lake. But again, I'm with you 100% on this, Curtis, is that you go up and look up and down the offensive staff. You're like, where's the experience there? How does this get better besides just getting better through experience and learning? And it's getting a little late for that. It really is. And we saw Zach Robinson last year make some adjustments. The first game was against the Steelers was one of the worst offensive game plans and calls I'd ever seen. And then they adjusted and improved. The problem is a lot of this year looks like that Steelers game.
Yeah.
If we're in this formation, we're going to run this play. That's what the Steelers game was last year. It was completely predictable. That's what this year looks like. Why? Why? I don't understand. I really don't. You've got all these analytics. You've got these self-scouting. You've got to buck some of your own trends. If the defense knows what's coming, unless you're just unable to impose your will on them and you're that good, you're not going to be successful. And we've seen that. And the third down stuff, especially, Nick, oh my God.
Yeah, it's frustrating. And also it feels like, obviously, like we talked about McCarthy, same with Penix, the book is by far yet to be written yet, but these are important developmental years right now. I mean, I know everybody will point, I sent you, Scott, the 5 signs of like a grieving quarterback franchise. And seen it with Broncos country. I don't know if I've seen it so much with the Falcons, but they'll point to like, Josh Allen. Like, look how bad Josh Allen was his first 3 years. Penix can be the same guy. It's like, we'll see. But right now I would be getting a little nervous, not out, of course, but a little nervous. And again, it's not all his fault. But right now, some of the issues in college are manifesting themselves right now on tape for the Falcons. But the Falcons have enough other issues going on right now that it's truly impossible to isolate the variable of evaluating the quarterback play.
There you go.
And that means that he's going to get another, obviously, 2 years, cost control, and hopefully you can get the staff right around him, get maybe a little better with the right tackle where you can run your FU run game and better pass weaponry.
Another wide receiver for sure. Again, so I talk about this. I was in IT in my early 20s, okay? And one of the training exercises you do is during an interview is, okay, solve this. Okay, the refrigerator's not working. Why not? Well, the refrigerator's broken. Okay, in this case, Michael Penix is the refrigerator. Let's call him the microwave instead. It's cooler. It's hot. The microwave's hot. We know it can get hot in a hurry. The microwave's not working. What's wrong? Well, the microwave's broken. And that's what a lot of people will say. Well, how can you say the microwave's broken when obviously there's no power? The outlet's not working. Well, is the outlet not working? Let me check the breaker. Okay, let me plug in the toaster into the one. Okay, well, this one's working, so it might be a breaker. Let me check the breaker. Okay, the breaker's off. In this case, the breaker is Zach Robinson. I gotta throw the breaker to see if my microwave. Oh, my microwave's still not working. It is broke. But I don't know that until I get power to the damn microwave. Well, hell, there's no power in the house. It's not a breaker. It's not Zach Robinson. There's no power in the house. Well, crap. That's the head coach. There's that's broken. That's broken. Well, shoot. The whole street's out. There's no power here. They cut a line digging for cables up on old Alabama. Well, that's Arthur Blank. That's Arthur Blank. So it's okay to say that it's not binary, and everybody wants to do that. If it's either this or this, no, it's not. It's never just this or this. Michael Penix has some flaws that need to be improved on. The question is he even getting any power from the breaker where he has a chance to even improve? And right now, for me, the answer is no. So I don't know what I've got in Michael Penix because everything around him is so poor. Is he playing well right now? No, he's not. The microwave's broken. And I don't think it's the microwave. I don't think the microwave's broken right now, Nick. I think there's stuff around him. I gotta go check that breaker right now and Zach Robinson and make sure he's getting power, because right now he ain't.
No, he's not. And again, I wish you had a little bit more of an FU run game overall. That you should personnel wise. You have the running back, maybe not necessarily the overpowering offensive line with some pieces missing here and there, but. Yeah, right now, too much is on Penix. And Scott, I sent you a stat the other day too, something that I've been kind of banging the drum on in this chat as well. Just how little under center game the Falcons have been running this season. And one reason I'm like, oh, everybody's like, look what Kubiak's doing in Seattle. Like, can Penix play under center consistently, comfortably? It's unbelievable, the discrepancy here. They might as well be playing two different styles of football or two different games, Scott. But the Seahawks so far this season are 70% under center, which leads the league. The Rams are second with 69. The Lions are third with 52. The Bills are fourth with 51. The Patriots fifth at 47. Those are 5 pretty freaking good teams. Here's the heaviest shotgun teams, or the lowest under center teams. Saints at 28th, Bengals at 29th, Chiefs at 30th. There's an outlier. Commanders at 31st, and then the Falcons, the least amount of under center dropbacks in the entire NFL. They're only under center 6% of the time, compared to 70 from Seattle, which is
not
crazy.
Close. It's crazy. Not close. And you hear, well, why? Oh, Michael Penix is more comfortable in the shotgun, and we want Bijan Robinson to get a good look so he can make those cut runs. That's why he's lined up as a punter. We want to line him up for a punter. Okay, great. He gets a good looks, and the defense has plenty of time to flow to the ball. It's your job to make them more comfortable. Don't give me that BS. He's more comfortable in shotgun. I don't care. If it's successful, fine. If it's not, how hard? It's not overly hard to get a professional quarterback to get under center and do a 5 or 7 step drop. If you can't do that, you shouldn't have been taken in the first round. That's a fireable offense. What do you mean he can't go under center? My ass. No way. I'm not buying it.
Yeah. And it's something that, Scott, I wish this coaching staff wasn't playing for their life right now or coaching for their lives right now, because I think what's probably best for Penix long-term is to force him under center and figure out how to do that. Because there is right now just where the league is at, heavy personnel, throwing it out of 2 tight end sets, running out of 11 and getting under center. It's all really, really correlated with quarterback success. And of course, explosives down the field passing with play action on early downs. And if you are playing shotgun, you're not going to get the same bite depth from the linebackers and the safeties. You're not going to be able to hit some of those timing hole shots down the field. It's about creating one-on-one matchups vertically. And shotgun, it's just a lot harder to do. It's more of a horizontal game at that point, despite, I mean, it's air raid to an extent, but you need to be able to create explosives. And right now we've seen it with the Falcons' average depth of target with Penix. Despite having the hose, he has one of the lowest depth of targets and average in the entire league. So I think ideally, and it's crazy too, because I mean, you have Zach Robinson coming from the Sean McVay tree, which has evolved tremendously. Shout out to Sean McVay, but like they were still 11 personnel shotgun heavy for a long time. And then they got Stafford, and now they're one of the most, as we saw, under center teams, and they're running 13 personnel like crazy. It's complete revolution out there in LA. And you'd hope Zach Robinson, you know, with some of his ties there, would reach out like, hey, what are you doing? Granted, Stafford's playing like an MVP and Penix is playing like a 1.5-year quarterback. But I think best picture long-term, as long as you don't completely lose your confidence, is forcing him to learn the under center drop back game because that's what's working right now. The shotgun is you're kind of declaring your hand early.
Terry says, I saw a show yesterday. I forgot the name of the show, but they put up a bullet point graph. Mike Penix is the worst quarterback against the blitz, and it ain't even close. Dead last among starting QBs. That's not quite true on that. No. This is one of those. This is EPA per drop back when blitzed and not blitzed. It might not show up completely well on the smaller screen. Apologies. But basically, lower left is where you don't want to be. The farther right you are, the better you are against the blitz. The taller you are, the better you are when there's no blitz. So to be bad against the blitz, you would need to be far left. And there were actually 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 quarterbacks that were worse, including Baker Mayfield, believe it or not, including Bryce Young. That's not a big surprise. Russell Wilson, shock there. And then 2 first-year starting quarterbacks, J.J. McCarthy and Cam Ward. But the problem is Michael Penix right now is in the bottom left of that graph, which means he is below average in both. Which, you know, we've seen EPA per drop back when blitzed and when not blitzed. And I would imagine if it was in the last 3 games, did he play 3 games ago, or was that I'm forgetting, or was that the Kirk Cousins game?
I feel like that was the Kirk Cousins game.
That was probably the Kirk Cousins game. He was awful also. So again, there's a common denominator here about the awfulness of the quarterback play in Atlanta. And that's why I always say that quarterback play, it's a compilation. I almost always try and talk about the quarterback play and not necessarily the quarterback when I'm hacking on the play of the quarterback, because it is a compilation of wide receivers, offensive line, play calling, and the quarterback himself, at least. Down and distance, field position, all of that stuff. That all goes into quarterback play. The quarterback play has not been good for a lot of different reasons in here. But I think in the last 2 games against the blitz, it wouldn't surprise me at all if this has gotten worse, because this is weeks 1 to 10 instead of weeks 9 and 10. And the last couple of weeks, it's gotten considerably worse. You know, the stat I looked up yesterday, I think I wrote up in the good, the bad, and the ugly is, you know, Michael Penix is like 27, or he was like 24 of 57 on 3rd down, just under 50%. And he had 18 first downs. That's for the whole season. Well, we know that's gotten worse because they only have 1 first down on 18 attempts in the last 2 games. So that has fallen off a cliff. It was bad. Not bad. It was below average weeks 1 through 8. And then the last 2 weeks, it's just fallen off a cliff.
Yeah, he looks like he's losing confidence. I guess shout out and God bless Drake May for being out there. I just would let him throw less, take some vertical shots. Obviously, the accuracy is a little scatter shot right now, but I feel like you're putting too much of the offense's onus on him. And even if it leads to a little bit more frustrating, running your head into a wall, I would do some of that. I did want to answer Hucklebuck. No, not Hucklebuck. Shout out to Hucklebuck. Somebody in here said BS. Penix played a lot under center in college. I think he only played like 5 to 10% under center. I mean, I lived in Seattle. I went to Washington games, and also I'm an Iowa fan, so I followed him a lot at Indiana. Followed an offensive coordinator out to the Huskies. He played a lot of shotgun, and it was a lot of 10 and 11 personnel out there for the Huskies. So, and granted, that's not like pointing out like, oh, he's an outlier. McCarthy playing under center was the outlier. Everybody's playing mostly shotgun in college.
That's what I was going to say. That's not that uncommon, Nick, in the college game that guys don't go into center. But you know what? They make an adjustment because it's not that hard. It's not that hard to take a professional athlete and put him under center. That's what you've got.
The under center
4-month season, right? I've got 8 months to go under center and figure out how to get my feet right.
And the under center stuff can also help with timing of routes as well. Because if you're in the shotgun, you don't have the hitting the back of the drop rhythm that is matched with the patterns out in space. So you're going to have to be much better of understanding mentally in that rhythm, where if you're hitting the back of the drop, 1, 2, 3, ball out, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, ball out. So if you're having issues of getting rid of the ball, it's something the Broncos need to do with Penix or Bo Nix right now, because he's just got no rhythm. But it's something I think, like, as long as you trust that he's not going to lose his confidence, they need to be doing it for him long term. Just because right now it's the patterns are pretty obvious what's working and what's not in the league.
And John, thanks again for being a member. He says we signed another defensive lineman. Yeah, the again going through the numbers, the Falcons cut Taquan Graham, which surprised me. Taquan was always a pretty useful piece in the rotation. Okay, Sam Roberts may have taken his spot, and you needed a place for Andrew Stuber. So you took away from the defensive line to put Andrew Stuber, who was inactive on Sunday. So Taquan Graham is out. 2 days later, after he clears waivers, he signs with the Philadelphia Eagles onto their practice squad. So to me, that answers one of the questions I had, is you really couldn't trade this guy for anything? Well, maybe not, because he cleared waivers. Okay, so we'll pass that, because that was a question I had. You can't get a future 7th round pick swap for him in a trade? Well, maybe not, because he did clear waivers and was signed to a practice squad. Nobody signed him but he signs the Eagles. If I'm going, Nick, what team is best on the defensive line in the NFL right now, or the last 5 years? Who would you say?
Eagles are Ravens. One of those.
And here he goes. He goes to the Eagles. They know a little something about defensive linemen, and they're able to get a guy with 50 games under his belt, who's now healthy, for nothing. So good for them. And the Falcons then, after 2 games later, then they leave LaCale London off of the active roster. So they're down 2 defensive linemen going into the game against the Indianapolis Colts. And then Sam Roberts, who's been a revelation this year, they got him off the Panthers practice squad, I believe, signed him to the 53, and he's been amazing for what he is. And he gets hurt, so now they're playing with 4 defensive linemen. They're down. There's beating yourself and there's getting beaten. Both happened against the Colts. You don't need to go in shorthanded and then end up even more shorthanded because of an injury against one of the best running teams in the NFL. So the Falcons have pivoted, and they signed Ben Stilley, who's been a part-time player for the last 5 or 6 years, has 15 games under his belt, and he's a typical practice squad guy who has a 1/5 of the resume of Taquan Graham. This, to me, if you're swapping practice squad guys, I have a feeling the Falcons were hoping that they could re-sign Taquan Graham, and the Philadelphia Eagles pounced. And once you are cut and hit waivers like that, then it's up to TQ. Hey, the agent's on the phone with, hey, you're going to play TQ, okay, Nick?
Okay.
Nick, and I'm his agent. Hey, TQ, I got the Eagles on the phone. They want to sign you to the practice squad. I got the Cowboys. They want to sign you to the practice squad. I got the Falcons. They want to sign you to the practice squad. What do you want to do? Bye.
Philly cheesesteak. Sounds pretty good right now.
Going to the Eagles.
Yeah. Especially with the coaching that they have there as well. Now, no shot. Ollie for the Falcons has done a heck of a job for your unit as well. But yeah, no, Philly, I'd be heading there for sure.
Going to the Eagles. Yeah, that was a nice pickup.
Also, I think a chance for more paychecks, Scott, right? Like you're making the playoffs, you're getting another game check down the line.
Too. So. You can get a playoff share for all of that stuff too. But it's again, do I want to? He's young. I don't know if he's married or not, but he can pick up and finish the season. Hey, significant other. I'm gonna go live in Philly for 2 months. We don't have to sell our house here or rent. I don't know. He's young. Sam coming in. Good to see you, Sam. Hope you're doing well. He says, good morning. Looked up Michael Penix under center numbers from last year. He ran more under center in just 3 games with an 8+ EPA. So last year, under the Kirk Cousins, who they didn't want to put him under center because he couldn't move, was the excuse. Well, no, maybe who's more comfortable in the pistol, Nick? What's the answer to this question? In the Falcons environment here, who's most comfortable in the pistol?
Is it Bijan?
It's Zach Robinson.
Zach Robinson? Okay, I was going to wonder. I feel like
the answer is Zach Robinson.
Yeah, it's the bastardization of the shotgun and the under center. We kind of saw the Broncos try to do it in 2015 with Gary Kubiak and Peyton Manning. Peyton couldn't get enough speed on the drop back, unfortunately, so they tried to marry the two. And
do it because you have problems. You're doing it to try and make up for some other things. Don't tell me he can't learn. He can't. Well, he can't go under center. What? Ugh. Baloney.
Yeah. Is
he a professional athlete in his prime or not? Good God. Thank you, Sam. Yes, he can run under center. Absolutely can. And, Bijan's more comfortable. Comfortable. There's the word I hate. Comfortable. Sometimes you got to make these guys uncomfortable. And you mean to tell me that Bijan Robinson is only effective out of the pistol? Oh, God. Please. We're not stupid, okay? We might have our biases and be blindly stupid to certain things, but we're not dumb. There's the side jar, Nick. That one goes in the side jar. Want to hit some of your comments again. Let's see here.
I know you're going to the comments here. We've been talking a little bit about head coaching candidates. One is now squarely on my radar, given what I've seen on Twitter, and somebody who could maybe be coming back to Atlanta if it happens. I know everybody's a little bit goo gaga for Clint Kubiak. Of course, I get it. I mean, what he's done in Seattle has been incredible. But if Matt LaFleur is let go by the Packers, which sounds like is a possibility, given they were all in on the Super Bowl this season and they're struggling on offense right now. I know that, again, he got fired. Why would you want to hire him? The overall sample of Matt LaFleur in Green Bay and the offenses specifically, they've been top 5, top 7 over a 5-7 year stretch here. So, and LaFleur has ties to blank. He was here in the Kyle Shanahan staff. So if LaFleur becomes available, you talk about, proof of concept, somebody to lean on. I mean, what LaFleur did with Aaron Rodgers to obviously Jordan Love, who up and down right now, granted, they have a lot of injuries to their best 2 pass catchers, and their best offensive lineman went down too in this last game. But with what he did with those guys, and then Malik Willis last season, a game plan, winning games and looking competent with Malik Willis. I mean, if LaFleur becomes available, throw the bag, Mr. Blank. That's the one I would be very interested in.
Well, here's the thing. So Albert Breer did a coach's hot seat, and he put 4 names on it, and he had Raheem Morris as a 3 out of a 10, which surprised me a little bit.
Yeah.
And then the next 3 guys, Zach Taylor, Cincinnati Bengals, came down one to Kevin Stefanski, Cleveland Browns, and then Mike McDaniels. I think
no S.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. We discussed this. Mike McDaniel, it's Josh McDaniels. The S is for SOB. And yeah, and Stefanski is like, well, I'd take 2 of those guys. I think McDaniel, I don't know that he gets another head coaching job right away. He's too quirky, so he might have to grow up a little bit, get another job. And
it sounds like he might be back in Miami though, because of Tua's contract.
But again, that might only last a year anyway. I mean, how much longer is that going to last?
Yeah.
But I'd take Stefanski. I'd take Zach Taylor here. I mean, Cleveland and Cincinnati aren't outstanding situations. Dayball, why aren't you on the phone with Dayball right now as a consultant? Come on down, be a consultant. I don't want to mess up your severance package of tens of millions of dollars, but we can put you on as a consultant and you can come down here and work as an intern. You know who did that? You know who rehabbed ex-coaches constantly? Nick Saban. Nick Saban would do that and bring guys in because he was in charge and he had there was no doubt about who the lead dog was there. There was no egos. Oh, I don't want him to come in here and upset the culture. Nick Saban is the culture. He built the culture, established culture. It's Alabama football. We want everybody to be comfortable. That actually turned into a text chain between me and my good friend Jason Russell this morning. Justin Tucker's available. Kicker who has Deshaun-esque problems with him. Now, I don't want Justin Tucker either. I don't want him either. There's certain things I'd rather not be a fan of a team than have people like that to try and root for. I won't root for him. I'd look for something else. Mm-hmm. But I joked with him. I said, he definitely upset the culture. And he said back, he goes, has to be a great culture at 3-6 right now. I said, hey, it's a great place as long as your job doesn't depend on results, which seems to be everybody off the field. Now, there are consequences on the field. Players get cut. Coaches, even if it seems like the accountability takes longer than we'd like, they get fired all the time. So, God, we started coming back with, corporate slogans for the Atlanta Falcons. Low expectations, poor leadership. This is the job for you. Rise up to mediocrity. Falcons football, it's about the journey, not the scoreboard. Sundays are for self-reflection. Winning isn't everything. It's nothing. And accountability starts tomorrow. Just some of the few. So that's another 50-year Falcons fan. And that's just kind of what it feels like sometimes. Nick made Kirby Smart. Talking about culture, Kirby Smart was one of the only guys that could handle the intensity that Nick Saban brought every day. Kirby Smart was with Nick for a long time. Most guys were there 1, maybe 2 years and then would move on. Kirby stayed with Nick for a long time with the Dolphins, a long time with Alabama, and he learned a lot of the good. And Kirby's much more personable. He's a much more relationship guy. But as far as the work ethic, the accountability, Kirby, he did learn a lot under Kirby for sure.
The recruiting game, a big part too, obviously. That's a big part of college. But yeah, and it's unfortunately we didn't even talk that much about the Panthers, Scott. I mean, the key is what it has been. Can you stop the freaking run up front? It's one reason that Bills game, I'm still scratching in my head what the hell the Bills game plan was. But Bills have shown to be having a hard time going to the South this season after getting beat up pretty bad by the Dolphins as well this last week. So who knows? But I mean, yeah, I'm hoping for a good Michael Penix game. One thing I will say is that God bless Drake London, because that with some of the fun stuff you guys are doing on the defensive side of the ball is making this team a lot of fun. And you guys, if you guys stop the Panthers run game on 1st and 2nd down, Bryce Young is playing like, you want to talk about bad quarterback play? Like Penix, erratic right now. There's still hope. Bryce Young, I am capital O-U-T out on. He just does not have it, man. He just does not.
Turnovers and special teams.
Yeah.
They stopped the running game. The Panthers had like 220 yards of offense in the 30-0 game. So again, it's not just one of the things. There's in the 3 phases, you can't lose 2 of them, and that comes out to it. Mr. CD for life. He says, "Why is 2 years enough to turn stuff around?" It's a good question. I see this a lot. Why? If Arthur Smith got 3 years, why would Raheem Morris only get 2? And then there's a lot of BS talk that goes along with that. But because this wasn't supposed to be a turnaround, CD. That's the difference. When Arthur Smith and Terry Fontenot took over in 2021, it was considered a low point. And it was an old, aging, broke team. Your old players were on the decline, and you had no money, and it was a problem. Understood. They did what they can. They got out from then they took a big cap hit in 2022. They traded Matt Ryan, got a 3rd-round pick for him, and $55 million of dead cap in 2022. They were broke. All that was gone in 2023. You've got 3 draft classes, 3 top 10 draft classes. You've got $200 million in free agents that you brought in and hit on those. But you had Arthur Smith and you had Desmond Ridder, and they failed. They spent 3 years building up that roster. It wasn't a turnaround from 24 and 25. The turnaround was to 23. Arthur Smith gets fired. Now in 24, Raheem Morris is going to come in and take over the 2023 team that was supposed to be playoff ready. That was a quarterback away. You spent $100 million on a quarterback. You drafted quarterback number 8. You were just a quarterback away. So it wasn't a turnaround from 23 to 24. It was two completely different situations. Supposed to be a playoff ready team in 2024, and they missed the playoffs, and now they're going backwards. It's about expectations, brother. That was that's why the teams are in 2 completely different spots in 2024 versus 2021, and that's why. And I think they overachieved in 2021 and 2022, and then they underachieved in 2023, and Arthur Smith was fired. Underachieve in 2024, underachieve in 2025. It's going to cost somebody their job.
Yeah, it should. Right now, Zach Robinson, dead man walking. We'll see about Raheem Morris. It's tough right now. Right now it's going to be rough to salvage this season. We'll find out a lot about this team's heart and gumption, losing 2 tough games against 2 playoff bounds, 2 of the best teams in the AFC on the road on both of them. So shout out to still getting those guys up to play as well. So I'm expecting a win, Scott, with this one coming up here, actually. I think the Falcons will take care of business. I think that the Panthers, that 30-0 or whatever the heck the score was game was obviously an anomaly, and Falcons got a little bit too much pride going on to have that happen again. So Falcons are going to win this one.
It wasn't an anomaly until the Dolphins did it again.
But you had like London out, and you had
that was the Cousins game.
Yeah, and London too. Right? Was London out too?
London was out that game, yeah.
Yeah.
I get him confused. It was so bad I've forgotten. Kirk Cousins, any talk about Kirk Cousins, get Kirk Cousins in the game. Just showed why. And Trenton says, how about Byron Leftwich as a quarterback coach? I have to see where he is nowadays. I'm not sure what he's doing, honestly. Great leader. He was a great quarterback and a great leader. When I say great quarterback, I don't actually mean in the pro level, but he was a great, and he garnered a lot of respect from his teammates out there. So I'm not sure what he's doing these days. But yeah, going back, to the tree, talking about it. And thanks for being a member, Trenton. You got that bird right there. It means he's a member. Thank you. Be like Trenton. Be a member. It's just so strange. Like, oh, well, I want someone off the McVay tree. Well, you got 2 guys coming off the McVay tree, and now they don't do anything that McVay does. That's just weird. I don't know, John, talking about where if he's at Colorado, okay, I don't know where he is. And Colorado's kind of a circus. It is. And good might be relative. Are they back to where they were before Shedeur and Travis Hunter? I don't really know. I think they're like 3-6 this year.
They're not as bad,
1-10 the 2 years before Dion got there.
Yeah,
for sure. But I think we're about done as far as we want to go.
More coffee.
Yeah, I'm about empty here too. So again, I want to say thank you to our super chat superstars coming in. What I wanted to look at real quick was what is the line on this game? I would say Falcons by 3.5 would be my guess. So where do you think it is?
I'll go Falcons.
It's Falcons by 3.5.
I was going to say I would have.
I'm good at picking that. So if I get an anomaly in there, if I say 3.5 and I see a 10, I'm like, that's the one to bet.
Money.
Yeah, that's the one to bet. I'm good at picking the line. So it is Falcons by 3.5. But Rusty coming in, Appreciate you with the super chat. Curtis, thank you for the super chat and being a member. Sam, thank you for the super chat coming in as well. Thank you to John Harrell. He's one of our members. Trenton, one of our members as well. I did see Keith also, who's a member. Thank you guys for coming in. And thanks you for the rest of you for having and John, there's multiple lines. I looked at ESPN is where I go look for the lines. So you can find them plus or minus half a point, full point in a lot of different places. And then you can choose where to bet if you are of the betting type. I don't, because weird things happen. I'm more of a consultant on that. But I'm going to get out of here. What's his name? Garrett will be back tomorrow night. Actually, he'll be in. I thought he was going to be here tonight. Didn't do a show last night, so he's going to be in tonight. So make sure you hit the like and subscribe so you get your alerts for when we do things a little off schedule. So Garrett was planning on doing a show tonight and tomorrow night. I am here this weekend, so we will be back with a gut reaction on Sunday is the next time you will see me. Unless you're a member, then you'll probably get a members-only video between here and then. Otherwise, y'all have a great rest of your week. It should warm up nicely and be a gorgeous fall November in the Southeast like it usually is. Y'all have a great rest of your week. Thanks for being here.
Peace.